This is the High School Football America podcast for June the 20th, 2025. I'm Jeff Fisher. The High School Football America podcast is brought to you by First Place Spirit Wear, the official outfitter of High School Football America. First Place Spirit Wear has an up and running fan gear store for every high school football program in America right now. That's right. You can go check it out. And when you get there, you'll say, wow, this is so cool. It looks great. It's like a Fanatics-like experience. Call them up, partner with them. They'll put your logo in there after you give it to them, and man, the thing will just burst with life. You will not believe how everything looks so awesome. They're the hassle-free solution for football coaches and booster clubs to provide fan gear for the fans, the players, and the coaches. And here's the thing, coaches, what they'll do for you. They will take everything out of your hands. What do I mean everything? Well, you're not going to have to take orders anymore. You're not going to have to collect money anymore. You're not going to have to manage the inventory in your home or your garage or someplace. And they're just going to ship directly to the customer's home, so you don't have to deliver them at all either. It's great. And here's the other cool thing. The BSN fan cloth, the ordering windows that you're all so used to, that's gone because these First Place Spirit Wear stores are open 365, 24/7. Yeah, it's just fantastic, 100% online. And what's even better is First Place Spirit Wear is going to give you 10% back on all the sales. So that goes right into your fundraising budget or whatever you're going to use it for. It is so cool. All the players, coaches, and your staff, they get $10 gift codes, which will bring down the overall price. And they've got the brand names you love, the Nikes, the Adidases, the Champions. They're all there for you. You can't go wrong. You can visit them at firstplacespiritwear.com, which is the number one, stplacespiritwear.com, or do it the easy way. When you're on highschoolfootballamerica.com, click on their banner ad. It's located on every page of our website. You will not be disappointed by checking out First Place Spirit Wear, and then when you partner with them, you're definitely not going to be disappointed at all. Your life is going to get easier. The High School Football America podcast also brought to you by GameStrat, America's premier sideline instant replay system with outstanding reliability and faster speed than Huddle's sideline. Now, the video transfers instantly in GameStrat, and its connection, it stays strong throughout. Other great GameStrat features: seamless video controls, video telestration, and play filtering. The setup is so easy, it only takes about 10 minutes, and they have awesome customer service. I've been pointing this out for 5 years. And why have I been pointing it out for 5 years? Well, A, that's how long we've been partners with GameStrat. But more importantly, I heard so many coaches, and I hear so many coaches say, oh man, I cannot get the customer service people on the line for different companies. That's not the case with GameStrat. As a matter of fact, I have heard some of the best stories ever, including GameStrat on a human error issue, which they found out when they got there, actually hopping in a plane and going to a game to fix the problem. That's how good they are. They have plans priced right for every coach's budget. And if you mention High School Football America, you're going to get a friends and family discount when you do the demo. And you sign up with them, of course. You don't get a discount on the demo, but if you sign up with them, they will also give you a discount for being an HSFA fan. And you can also get to GameStrat by going to their website directly at GameStrat.com, or as I said with First Place Spirit Wear, just go and click on the GameStrat banner ad. It's located conveniently on every page of highschoolfootballamerica.com. Hey everybody, Jeff Fisher of High School Football America, joined by my good friend Joe Maimone of Prep Gridiron Logistics. It's that time of year. Just a little while ago, Joe and his company releasing an incredible 25-game schedule this year on FloFootball. I think it's year 5, right, Joe? But anyway, thanks for taking the time here and talking about some really great high school football interstate matchups that we both love today on the podcast.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about this schedule. It's one of our better schedules ever since we've been in this relationship with the FloFootball channel. We had a 4-year deal. They just re-upped us for another 4 years. So you're correct. This is year 5, and excited to talk about each one of these games, numbers 1 through 25.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can tell you that 25 teams that finished in the High School Football America 300, powered by NFL Play Football, on the schedule this year with Flo. And let's do what we always do. Just start at the beginning of the season. There's not a cupcake on the schedule. You're going to want to watch all 25 of these games. But Joe, let's start ourselves off. What's that? About the third week of August as you get things kicked off there with a couple of games.
Correct, correct. We start off on August 22nd in Seminole, Florida. We have Sanford Seminole hosting Creekside, Georgia in the what they're calling the Bokie Classic, which would be a great game of regional power public programs. On that same night, down in Orlando, we have a team that you're very familiar with, being based in the Atlanta area. Milton, Georgia,
Yep.
is going to be visiting the First Academy out of Orlando. And not many people know about the First Academy. They're a private parochial school, kind of like the Mater Dei, if you will, of the Orlando area. And they've really got a great roster of players participating next year. Uh, Head coach is a great guy, loves to play the best possible opponents, no matter where they are. They'll be flying all over America and hosting a bunch of great teams today. So you're going to hear the term First Academy a lot during this call.
Yeah, for the people just kind of tuning into this and never having heard of the First Academy, they were up as high as 57 in our algorithm last year. Did run into sanctions from the Florida High School Athletic Association, had to forfeit all of that, but that team was great. I mean, they played a tough schedule last year, so I like to see how they do this year because you and I talked offline maybe a month ago or so. This may be the toughest schedule in the country. If not, it's in the top three. I got to believe that, no doubt about that. But let's go to the next week and your neck of the woods. A little south of where you are, but in Jersey, you've
Yeah,
got some matchups there at the Battle of the Beach that are
yeah.
incredible.
Battle of the Beach. We have two really quality games, both on August 28th. The first one, it's a doubleheader. You have IMG at Winslow Township. Now, not many people listening might know who Winslow Township is, but they are, for those of you in the Northeast, the best public high school football program in the state of New Jersey. And they have a group of seniors, an upperclassmen coming back. They're so confident in that they said, "Come on, IMG, let's bring it on." So that'll be the first game of that Battle of the Beach doubleheader in Ocean Beach, New Jersey. Second game, two quality teams, very nationally relevant teams. East St. Louis from Illinois, coached by Camden, New Jersey product Darren Sunkett, will be playing Bergen Catholic, who's probably going to be in everybody's preseason top 25.
No doubt. Four in a row for that team there. You know, the interesting that I'm looking forward to with the IMG game, and like you said, Winslow's a team that's kind of going to have people scratching their head going, "Oh, is this a cupcake or whatever?" I mean, they're the Group 4 champs there. There's five groups on the public side in Jersey. They're going to be good. But, you know, they've come north twice and played at the Battle of the Beach, right? And the first time it was against St. Joe's, a whale of a game, and then last year against IMG. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them this year. And I got to tell you, I have three games circled on your schedule that are must watches for me. One being the one you just mentioned, East St. Louis against Bergen Catholic. And the next one is what we're going to go to in Georgia the following week, which is, and I'm not going to steal a thunder, but I think those two games, the East St. Louis and Bergen Catholic, and the one you're going to talk about right now, may be two that I think go a long way toward deciding a national championship.
Yeah, I mean the next game, and you got to remember, half of the games on our schedule, half, literally 12 out of 25, are this weekend.
Yeah.
That Labor Day weekend, Thursday through Saturday. So let's go to Friday night now. We have, and I'm proud of this game. We had to fight hard for this game with other networks, and we got the job done. We're going to have Thompson, Alabama, the top public school in Bama, visiting Grayson, which is going to be a great game. Another battle of regional power publics.
No doubt about that. And, you know, two defending state champs, right? I mean,
Right.
you can't beat that. And what I want people to tune in to watch this kid because Joe, you and I saw him play his first high school football game, and I can't remember how many years ago it was because it seems like he's been playing for
Well,
forever.
he was an eighth
He
grader
was
at
an
that
eighth
time.
grader, Trent Seaborn for Thompson, Mark Freeman's quarterback there. He came in when the starter who had led them to a state championship the year before got dinged up and came in, and we looked at each other, just scratched our head, and now here he is. He signed a big, or no, he turned down the deal, right? He was the one who
Yep.
turned down the big NIL deal. But
Right.
that game is, both teams have returning quarterbacks. It's going to be great. But anyway,
And
those two
and
are
Jeff,
circled on my schedule.
in that game, I'm telling you right now, Flo was involved in that game. The other big sports cable network was involved in that game, and we're proud that we got it, and we can't wait for the masses to watch it on August 29th.
And Grayson beat them down there in OT last year, if memory
Correct.
serves me correctly, right?
Right. Right.
A
Yep.
big
And
deal
on
with
that
it.
same night, and keep in mind, on August 29th, we're gonna have four games going on literally at the same time. So we got Grayson, Alabama. Then the next game we got Columbus out of Miami, Florida, at Good Counsel, which is a second year of a home and home series. Then we have Legacy, who, as you know, the Legacy quarterback is, if not the number one uh, rising senior recruit in America, but top three.
Mhm.
Legacy's traveling to Baltimore to play St. Francis Academy. And then again on that same night, we rounded out with Central Alabama, who's right up there with Thompson, is going to be visiting Orlando, the team we already spoke about, the first academy. So that's a whale of a night.
Yeah, that's
Friday, August 29th, we're going to have literally four games going on at the same time.
same time, and you go and get a playback there on that too when you do it. But one question that came to my mind is, we've known St. Francis Academy as the road warriors that they are, right? Very few home games there in the Baltimore area. I think they've got a couple this year. That's got to be a good
They
sign
literally,
for the
hey,
team,
Jeff, they
right?
literally, I think it's 50-50. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
for the
good.
first time in their existence, remember, they don't have a home field.
Right.
They shift it between Morgan State, Under Armour campus, Johns Hopkins, whoever's open. But for the first time in the last 10 years, they may have just as many home games as away games. And that's great for them because they've done so much traveling, and a lot of times it's been to their detriment.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The following week, another large schedule there, but you're going to one, and I haven't been there. I think we've talked about this before. I haven't been to Ironton's Field in Ohio, but I hear it's one that I need to get on my bucket list and get there too.
Yeah, it's great. It's called Tanks Memorial Stadium. It was the home of one of the first NFL teams, like literally in when Bronco Nagurski ran on the field, ran the football on that same field. So it's great. We do this event every year. It's called the Ohio Gridiron Classic. For game one, we have Mount Carmel out of the Chicago area at Moeller. Game two, Middletown, Delaware, best team in Delaware at Bishop Watterson, a really good Columbus, Ohio-based team. And the headliner is Liberty Christian out of Virginia at the host Ironton. So those are three quality games. And then we close it out with the rematch of last year. Believe it or not, Jeff, a team from Texas is actually leaving the state to play an out-of-state opponent. DeSoto.
Special dispensation on that one.
DeSoto is. We mentioned Creekside, Georgia, in game number one. They're visiting Sanford Seminole. Now, well, this a week later, they're going to be hosting DeSoto, Texas. The two teams played last year as a one-sided battle that DeSoto won, but a lot of people don't know that Creekside had about 5 or 6 defensive starters out for that game. So we're hoping this game in the suburbs of Atlanta down in Fairburn is going to be much more competitive.
I'll tell you, the tribe is not afraid of anyone. I give them all the credit. Well, we give all of these teams credit, right, Joe? I mean, when it's hard to schedule games when you get good and you start ducking people, that ain't good, right? And when you've
Correct.
got people like Creekside that says, you know what, I'll play a couple of those games up top, and if we come out 0-2, so be it. I mean, who cares?
Right.
I mean, Thompson last year, I think, was 0-3 at one point.
They were.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you don't get bad by playing good.
Right. And Jeff, just so you know, the 12 games we just reviewed, that's half of our broadcast schedule. those are literally 10 of the 12 games are one weekend, Thursday through Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, and it's and you and I have talked about this ad infinitum. I mean, I love the fact that we have these first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending, last couple of years, but first 2 or 3 weeks that literally set up the national championship chase in a great way. I mean, it's
Correct.
just incredible to see these matchups here. So, what do you got after that?
So we have the first week of September. We have six games on the slate. We have DePaul out of New Jersey, DePaul Catholic at Good Counsel. DePaul, their quarterback Derek Zammit is part of the Elite at 11 going on right now. So I know a lot of coaches and fans are going to watch that, tune into that game. On the same evening, we have the Hun School out of New Jersey down in Princeton at Archbishop Spalding, which we all know about. They've been making waves in that DMV area for a while. Um, Another great matchup: Florida versus New Jersey. Monarch, one of the better public schools out of Broward County, will be visiting my hometown school, Don Bosco Prep. As you know, Don Bosco Prep was our company's first client ever back in 2015. And now we've grown it to about our list to about 400 teams. The same night again, another Jersey team, Bergen Catholic, will be on the road. Remember, the first week they're hosting East St. Louis, and then they fly down to the West Palm area and play West Boca Raton, who's a team on the rise in that Palm Beach County also.
Yeah, they were
So
nationally ranked last year too. And you know what? This is a good. I've got about 2/3 of the way through. But you mentioned, and I was going to ask you the question about how this all got started for you, and it did begin, as you said, with Don Bosco Prep. But for the listeners out there who don't know what you do at Prep Gridiron Logistics, folks, and Joe will doesn't have to say this. I'll say it for him. He loves the sport of high school football. What he does, whether it's putting these games together or then putting them on FloFootball, it comes from the right place. It's not a money-making opportunity for him. He literally is doing it for the love of the game. Joe, talk a little bit about that, Joe, how it got started here for a few
right,
minutes.
well,
The listeners know who you are.
sure. I'm based in northern New Jersey, and I basically live in the middle of the three top high school football programs in New Jersey: Bergen Catholic, Don Bosco, and St. Joe's Regional. So Don Bosco at the time, they were doing real well nationally. And as you know, in high school football, the better you do, two things happen. The better you do, number one, teams don't want to play you anymore,
Yep.
or your state association comes after you saying that you're breaking the rules. And so in this case, they Don Bosco was having a hard time finding opponents because they were so good. I mean, two national championships in 3 years back in the day.
Yep.
So they were my first client. The first game I ever set up ever was them. I did a home and home with Don Bosco and Cincinnati Moeller. I was able to do that because a buddy of mine from college at the time was the principal of Cincinnati Moeller. So I called him up, told him I was trying to do it, that Don Bosco was having a hard time, and he said, we'll do it. And we did a home and home series. It's funny, Bosco won at Cincinnati and Moeller won in Jersey, those two games, which was pretty cool. And that's how it started, with one client in 2015. And literally 10 years later, I have over 400 teams call me every year wanting to know, want me to set them up with the best out-of-state competition possible. So it's great. And like you said, it's a labor of love. We don't do it for the money. Any money that's generated is given back to the teams that are playing that night. So it's great. And I know the service is very much appreciated by the coaches and the ADs that we do business with.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I hear that from coaches across the country. Cut you off there. You were going through my birthday weekend. My birthday, September 5th, plug for me. So what's going on
Nice.
after my birthday?
Yeah, so that next day, Saturday, September 6th, we have two games on the slate. We have Huff out of North Carolina at Highland Springs, Virginia. Good regional game there. And also Gadsden County out of Florida we're going to say this name a lot, East St. Louis.
Yeah.
Remember, they're playing Bergen week one. And a couple weeks later, or the following week, they are hosting They have a classic every year called the Gateway Scholars Classic. A lot of money's raised for scholarships and things like that. So they'll be hosting Gadsden County, which is northern Florida, up in the Tallahassee area. They have a hell of a schedule. If you guys want to go to one of the sites and look at their schedule, Gadsden County is really testing themselves this year, and not many northern Florida teams do that. You don't see them on the schedule that often. But kudos to Gadsden County, Florida.
Yeah, they made it to the 2A championship game last year with Coco, another team that doesn't duck anybody. And I'm just going to say this because I know you're going to talk about East St. Louis again, but when you start hearing about these non-league games, especially the third one that Joe's going to talk about in just a little bit here, I have East St. Louis as my sleeper for a possible national championship. I know I'm going out on a limb, but if you think about, who they're playing, right? If they beat a Bergen and if they beat a Gadsden, and then the next game we'll talk about in a little bit, you'll understand why I said that. But go ahead, Joe, go on.
And Jeff, there's another game that it unfortunately it's not on my broadcast schedule, but East St. Louis has 3 away games versus Bergen Catholic, Bishop Gorman, and IMG.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm not crazy. I mean, if they somehow run that table, yeah, you got to give the Flyers a shot at being number 1 in the nation. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, at Bergen, that's really a neutral site game because it's almost an hour and a half down the pike from Bergen. At BG is going to be a tough one. At IMG, East St. Louis always competes with IMG year after year. IMG beat them last year on the last play of the game.
In OT.
They hit it in the end zone to win it. So yeah, you're right. Coach Sunk, he normally takes care of business in his own state, but if he does that and has those 3 wins, they're up there. If not, they're tied for the.
They're in the conversation. That's all.
Yeah. So and then the following week, we have a Good Counsel, which we've mentioned before, at Middletown, Delaware. We have IMG on our schedule twice. This is a great one, Jeff. I'm proud of this game. So
I know. Go lay it out, Joe. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. Go ahead.
As you know, the cowards that run the state of California, the CIF, will not allow their member programs to play IMG, which is cowardly to the nth degree. So what IMG's doing, what we're doing is we're bringing IMG to California to play a neutral site game against Coronado, Nevada at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. We're doing that on September 13th. So all the California folks who never get a chance to see IMG in action live, they'll be able to do so by going out to Saddleback College, and everyone else could watch it on the FloFootball channel.
I know you're loving that one. By the way, I just want to say one thing about that. I'm not going to call any names, but I will say this. Before you and I knew each other, and I've never been a promoter in my life at all. I've never done what it is you do. Have no interest in it, but IMG back in the day when Kevin Wright was there and Kellen Mond was the quarterback, needed a game. And so did Corona Centennial. And Matt Logan and I talked, and I got him together with Kevin, and we set up that game that was played at Mission Viejo. That to me, I don't know, I got to really think hard, but that may have been the best high school football game I've ever seen in person. It was 50 to it was a close one.
50-49, I think.
That's, I was I didn't want to see if I could get the number right, but yeah, it was a 1-point game. It was incredible. So I love that you've done that, and it's going to be interesting to see. And Coronado, I think, has played a couple of other out of state games too. So it looks like they're another Nevada team that's starting to up its schedule a little bit.
Correct. They're top 5 every year. You got Gorman and Liberty, and then they're always there right after that. So that's it. And kudos to them for wanting to take on the smoke that is IMG.
Yeah, no doubt.
That same night, St. Francis is going to be in Philadelphia, playing at St. Joe's Prep. We haven't determined the venue yet. We're looking to get UPenn Franklin Field.
Oh, nice.
So.
This Pennsylvania boy loved me some Franklin Field. It may be falling down in parts, but like you were talking about with tanks, right? It's just history. You're just walking on top of history, I guess is the best way to put it. And by the way, I said I have 3 games that are definitely circled. I didn't know at the time when you kind of surprised me in the one we're going to talk about in a second. But St. Joe's, St. Francis, definitely a must watch on Flow.
Correct. So that, Jeff, those are the first 3 weeks of the high school football season. That's 21 of our 25 games. So the last four games start in October, October 3rd. We have, once again, the First Academy at St. Francis in Baltimore. Going to be a great one. Then a couple weeks later, we have the Hun School. The Hun School, I don't know if you follow this. They have one of the top players in America. He just committed to USC.
Yep.
So that's that's going to be a worthwhile game to watch. And then East St. Louis. Here we go again. East St. Louis at IMG on October 25th. And then the week after that, our last game of the broadcast season, November 1st, IMG at Hun again. Again, Hun has one of the top recruits in America who just committed to USC. And he was recruited everywhere. It's between USC, Penn State, Ohio State, Florida, I think. So the Hun School, again, not many people know about it, but Jersey, you always got Bergen, Bosco, St. Joe's. Now you got the Hun School. Now you have DePaul. You have Del Barton. That's growing, getting better by the year. Winslow on the public side. So New Jersey and the Garden State well represented on our 2025 Flow Football broadcast schedule.
No doubt about that. It is just a great schedule you put together. And again, folks, if you want to kind of jab me later on down in the season, or I will brag about what I said with those East St. Louis games you have, which are all except the Gorman game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, if those guys, and some kid just always seems to play well against the big ones. About the only time I think they were kind of maybe outmanned was when you took them out to play St. John Bosco out on the West Coast. They got
and again, that wasn't considering what Bosco does to other teams. It wasn't that bad. I think they might have lost by 21 or 17. It wasn't 52-14 like what Bosco did to Allen, Texas a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And the kids are always playing 2 hours later on their clock too, which I always point out to people. Like when Bergen went out and played Mater Dei years ago, It was just like, they're kicking off at 11 o'clock, folks.
Well, how about do you remember when St. Francis went to Hawaii and beat Kahuku on the last play of the game? The game ended at 4 a.m. Baltimore time.
Yeah. No, I remember that. It's been incredible. So let's wrap things up here with who are, I gave you my 4 favorites on that list there. Who are the ones that you're looking forward to and why?
St. Francis, because they're going to be in almost everybody's top 5, I believe.
Yeah.
Preseason. So I don't know, Jeff, when you're launching your preseason
end of the month.
But I know that mine's going to be mid-July. I know our other buddy that we always talk to, Max, is going to be mid-July. So most people are going to have St. Francis real high up there. They're at Chaminade Madonna. They're at Bosco. We have met St. Joe's Prep. They're also going to IMG. And then they got these home games we talked about. So I'm excited about those games. St. Joe's Prep, again, they're playing St. Francis, Good Counsel, American Heritage, and DeMatha. They too could, if they run the table, could make some waves. The IMG, having IMG on Flow is great. We've never had them before as the host team. In addition to those 2 home games, they're at Hoover, they're at Phoenix City, Central Alabama. So them too. They've reloaded and they're going to be in most people's top 5 to 7. We talked about the First Academy. They remind me of when I first started doing business with St. Francis, when really nobody knew who St. Francis was, when they were just coming back up. I don't know if you remember, they played Paramus Catholic at University of Michigan Stadium a long time ago, and that's when they first started making a name for themselves. But the First Academy, with all the games they're playing, including hosting Milton, they're hosting Phoenix City Central, they're traveling to St. Francis. Their kickoff classic is against IMG, so we're proud about them being a client. We talked about East St. Louis. Yeah, I mean, American Heritage too. We talked, St. Joe's Prep, and they're at Edna Carr. But all these games are like my kids. I can't choose one, but I'm going to appreciate the ones the most where the teams that are basically in the top 5 are involved, because as these games are played, it's going to be much easier for me, you, and the other 7 national pollsters to figure out our top 10.
Yeah, well, my algorithm, that gets my head out of the noose. You guys with your opinions, I can just say, hey, the algorithm says this. We can let it go on that. Hey, before we wrap up here, Joe, as I always do, we are talking 2025, but I'm sure Because I know I've had some people reach out to me already about, hey, is anybody looking for a game in 26? So I don't know if you're in that mode yet or not, but if you are, or when it's time to be in that mode, why don't you let the people know how they can get in touch with you and get Prep Gridiron Logistics on their site?
Right. Yeah. Our website, it's prepgridironlogistics.com. There's a form that you could fill out there. You send us a note, and we literally within, I don't know, a minute, an hour at the worst, we send you back on that same date all the other teams, all the nationally relevant teams in America that share your needs. So yeah, we're people are still starting to contact us about 2026. The good thing is a lot of these games this year are the first legs of home and home, so we'll be seeing them again next year. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. Prepgridironlogistics.com. And then we could take care of you from there. We're open 24/7, 365.
Yeah, he works more than I do in football sometimes. Sometimes he even makes fun of me a little bit. Like, what do you mean you're having dinner with Trish? Got to do what I got to do, Joe. Anyway, man, hey, I appreciate you so much. We appreciate your friendship and just really thank you for what you do for the game of high school football and look forward to chopping it up, sometimes getting in disagreements with you when my rankings come out versus yours. But it's always fun. It's always good nature. And again, I just appreciate what you do for the game.
All right. I appreciate that. And our next call will be when we each go over our preseason top 25. Okay.
There you go. All right, man. Have a good day.
You too.
The High School Football America podcast has been brought to you by First Place Spirit Wear, the official outfitter of High School Football America. This Ohio-based company is incredible. It will turn your head as they reinvent fan gear around America for football programs. They've already got a digital store up and running for you if you go to firstplacespiritwear.com, the number one, stplacespiritwear.com, or if you click on their banner ad that's conveniently located on every page of highschoolfootballamerica.com. But they're going to give you some things that all the other competitors out there are not going to give you. First and foremost, ordering windows that you're so used to with BSN's fan cloth, with just as a perfect alternative to, they're gone. You can order 365, 24/7. It's all online, 100%. And the right now the Fan Gear store is right up there. But if you give them their logo, if you partner with them and give them the logo and put it on there, man, your site will hum like a finely tuned engine. It will be so, so cool. And everything will be so easy for you with these amazing designs. Your fans are going to be excited. Your players are going to be excited. Your coaches are going to be excited. And more importantly, you're going to be excited that you don't have to take orders, collect money. You're not going to have to house the inventory in your garage or your living room or wherever, and you're definitely not going to have to deliver anything because all of the orders ship directly to the homes within days. And here's what's really great too. You get 10% back on all your sales that can go right to your fundraising budget or whatever you need the money for, because we all know these days every coach and program can use money. And all the players, coaches, and the staff get $10 gift codes. You cannot beat that. They've also got all the great brand names like Nike, Adidas, and Champion. You cannot go wrong by partnering with First Place Spirit Wear, the official outfitter of High School Football America. Just go to their website. Again, it's the number one, stplacespiritwear.com, or easy way to do it, just go to highschoolfootballamerica.com. When you're on there, any page you're on, you're going to see their banner ad, and you can click on it and go right there and search your store. You will not be disappointed with First Place Spirit Wear, as people have not been disappointed with GameStrat for the last 5 years since partnering with High School Football America. It's the best sideline instant replay system. And if you're in Texas, for example, where you're not allowed to use it on the sideline yet, it's a great thing for in the booth. So in-game changes can be made very, very fast. And the great thing is they're reliable, and the speed is faster than Huddle Sideline. You can't beat that. The video transfers instantly in GameStrat, and its connection stays strong throughout. Other great GameStrat features: seamless video controls, video telestration, and play filtering. And the setup is so, so easy. Just 10 minutes. Customer service. I talk about this all the time. GameStrat's customer service is second to None. They are insanely good at what they do. And they have different plans priced right for every coach's budget. Now, mention High School Football America to our friends. And when you're doing that and you sign on with them, they're going to give you a friends and family discount. Go to GameStrat.com for your demo. Or just like First Place Spiritwear, just click on their banner ad that's located on every page of HighSchoolFootballAmerica.com. And our podcast also brought to you by NFL Play Football. Coaches, don't forget to check out playfootball.nfl.com for some great resources to help you improve in the coaching profession. That'll do it for today's podcast. I'm Jeff Fisher.